Get ready for this. It's going to be epic. You have to remember what Goat King LeBron said. He described his career as like being a movie, that it's almost too good to be true. And Goat King LeBron is correct about professional sports in general. That was a movie when the Patriots were losing 28-3, and they came back and tied the game on two-point conversions and won the Super Bowl in the last play of the game in overtime. That was a movie when you were on the verge of losing to the Seahawks. The ball's at the 2-yard line, and they don't run the ball to Lynch, and the rest is history. That was a movie when the Patriots went 18-1 and a helmet catch sparked a late rally by Eli Manning. The guy who caught the touchdown, Plaxico Burress, was the same guy who guaranteed the Giants' victory, like Joe Namath guaranteeing the Super Bowl win over the Baltimore Colts. It's a movie. The Cubs are down 3-1. They cursed. They never gonna win. They came back and won the World Series 3-1. Goat King LeBron and the Cavs are down 3-1 against 73-win Warriors. They won the championship. They were down 5 points, on the verge of losing, missed free throws. Ray Allen, that is a movie. Richard Sherman tips the ball. They about to score the touchdown. The 49ers, it's tipped for a touchdown. The Seahawks beat the 49ers. They on to the Super Bowl. It is a movie. Oh, these guys are cooked. They finished, right? What's the score? 24-10, whatever it was. Oh, 3rd and 15. Oh, he's not going to make that, right? Oops. Patrick Mahomes completed the 3rd and 15. He led the comeback. They cooked against the Eagles, right? Oh, Eagles, they too much. Patrick Mahomes, he hurt his ankle. He's injured, right? Oh, it's a movie. Not so fast. 13 seconds left in the game. Oh, the Bills have beat the Chiefs, right? Oh, what just happened? And then you win a Super Bowl in your home stadium, not once but twice during the pandemic. Yep. That's straight out of a movie. We don't have to worry about social distancing. And let's see what else. You get my point? It's a movie. That's what it is. Oh, I can't forget about Super Bowl 58. Did they down 10-3? Mahomes gets intercepted. Oh, they're about to drive down for another score. 49ers, it's 10-3. Oh, no, Chiefs, they come back. Yep. It's a movie. They about to score. They're in the Chiefs' territory. They need a touchdown to win. Oh, of course they don't get the touchdown. They get the field goal. Oh, it's 4th and 1. Oh, they're going to stop him. Nope. Patrick Mahomes with the option. He runs. Game-winning touchdown. It's a movie. The Baltimore Ravens season is a movie. These guys are cooked. They are finished. They 1-5. The whole entire Ravens 1-5 start was rigged. If it wasn't rigged, if it actually was left up the chance, the Ravens, bare minimum, they would be 3-3, bare minimum with that amount of talent on the team. You see, that game against the Buffalo Bills was a movie. The first Sunday night football game of the season, the dramatic comeback by the Buffalo Bills at home. Oh, Josh Allen works his magic. Oh, Baltimore chokes again. Yep, it's a movie. And when it's a movie, they have to appear as the weak team in the playoffs. When have I seen this movie before? Super Bowl 47. What was the movie? The Ravens and Joe Flacco and Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. They beat the favorited Peyton Manning in the Broncos and Tom Brady in the Patriots. And they beat the vaunted 49ers defense and Wonder Boy Colin Kaepernick that year to win the Super Bowl. When have we seen this movie before? We've seen this movie before. How do we know the season is scripted? The Steelers start 4-1, and the NFL purposely doesn't schedule the hard games till the second half of the season. They purposely schedule the harder games earlier for the Ravens because they don't play the Lions. They don't play the Bills. They don't play the Chiefs later on in the season. The Ravens don't even play the Chargers and the Colts. The Steelers play the Chargers and the Colts. The Steelers have to play the Lions, the Bills, and the Chargers, and the Colts. That's 4 hard teams the Ravens don't play, and Baltimore only is down by 3 games. And technically speaking, you're going to beat the Steelers at home. You're going to get a head-to-head tiebreaker. So it's really only a 2-game deficit because the script's going to call for the Ravens to beat the Steelers twice in the regular season. They're going to go down. The Steelers are the pretending team. They are psychological operation. It just diminishes Tom Brady. It's so hard to step into a new team and win the Super Bowl your first year with a new team. That's why Aaron Rodgers is not allowed to win. Then you diminish the immortalization of Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl in his first year on a completely new team. That's why the Steelers can't win this Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. It is a psychological operation that he's born at the Bay Area, and he's going to play in that Super Bowl. It's a psychological operation. His last game with the Packers was a Sunday Night Football game, the very last regular season game of 2022, right? 2023. And now his last game in his NFL career will also be a flexing week 18 game that will end his team's season. It's over. It's over for Aaron Rodgers. It's over for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's why they're ahead. That's why they have the tougher games, because this is about Lamar Jackson doing what they say he's not capable of doing. He's going to beat Josh Allen in the playoffs. He's going to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Rigged, scripted fashion, Ravens beating the ass of Buffalo. They were about to make it 14-3 until the scripted interception by Lamar Jackson. I'd be more than happy to break down the rigged interception by Lamar Jackson in the Chiefs game. It was a scripted interception because he's a running back and he throws interceptions and he fumbles the ball. And he's blocked and he can't play the game. That is what many people in white America think about Lamar Jackson. Imagine what Lamar Jackson is going to do. Lamar Jackson is going to make people go cray-cray, and this guy be flashing them chains. And who also flashing them chains? Las Vegas, baby, because he's a running back and he can't win. And then when Lamar wins, people they are going to implode. They are going to melt down. Imagine Lamar in the Super Bowl. Imagine how bizarre this is going to make people, especially since it's the very, very last game before the Lombardi. I got news for you. Lamar Jackson is the 32nd pick, and the Super Bowl is 32 days after his birthday. I've got news for you. I've got news for you. It's been written. Imagine when the Ravens win the Super Bowl from 1-5 to winning the Super Bowl. Imagine that. That's another reason why the NFL is greater than Major League Baseball, because the boring Dodgers are going to cakewalk to another title. NFL says we ain't about favorites all the time. We ain't about the Kansas City Chiefs every single year. We had that guy win the Super Bowl, you see. They not just going to be a dynasty forever. Patriots were not a dynasty forever. They went 10 years without a Super Bowl, from Super Bowl 39 to Super Bowl 49. So don't expect this to be the case. Don't expect Kansas City to not go on a similar run. Whatever it may be, they don't have to go 10 years without a title. They could go 5 years without a title. They can go on a little mini Super Bowl spell, a mini spell that makes people interested in football because the Chiefs are not winning every year. And basically, when you repeat the same result, people start to believe it, that Lamar is never going to win the Super Bowl. When the Chiefs start winning every year, the Chiefs are going to win this year. This reverse psychology kind of thing, it worked last year because, Chiefs win again, they win the Super Bowl because they were winning the past 2 years. Then they hooked and baited the masses right there. And so the same thing's going to happen where Mahomes goes 5 years without a championship. They start to say, you can't win without anybody. You can't do all of this. And then Patrick Mahomes proves it wasn't about the system. It wasn't about the Andy Reid play calling. I'm Patrick Mahomes, and I can win without this coach. Yeah, this is a game where the numbers are just not going to sync up. This was just a game where they bet too much money on the Lions, and the house wasn't going to let it happen. They were not going to let the Lions win the game. There's too much money on the Chiefs. There's too much money, and this was a rigged game. I had to cash out because I went to my senses right there. Hey, but it's over. The Chiefs have beaten the Lions and the Ravens. Imagine if the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Bills. This is a reverse psychology technique where they lose the regular season game against the Bills and then Bills beat them in the playoffs. This is a reverse psychology technique to where when the Chiefs beat them in the regular season, the Bills, it's like, they can't win in the playoffs. They can't win in the playoffs. But you see, Patrick Mahomes, number 15, they just throw it right in front of our face with the Ravens record for the season. They let us all know with the record that it's going down. And when it's going down, it's really, really going down. 1-5 to be in number 15, holding up that Lombardi trophy. This is what Lamar Jackson's going to do. He's the best player in football. I think this year they'll be calling this guy the best player in football, Lamar Jackson. And then he will never appear in the Super Bowl again because the NFL is a script. And this will set up the epic victory of Jim Harbaugh over the Ravens in a couple of years from now. Jim Harbaugh is going to be his brother John in a couple of Januaries from now. Super Bowl 62, the Chargers are going to beat the Ravens. Joe Burrow, best quarterback in the game, white power. He's not there to deny Lamar Jackson. This is subliminal white supremacist, subliminal propaganda, subliminal programming. When you think about Jalen Hurts, so subliminally he needed Saquon Barkley. He needed the number 2 running back. Oh, Lamar Jackson, he just needed Derrick Henry. He needed a top 2 running back. You see the subliminal racist programming by the white supremacist GOP donating Republican owners? You see how subliminally racist they are with their scripts for Saquon to carry Jalen to the Super Bowl and Derrick Henry to carry Lamar Jackson because it's subliminal racist programming. That's what they doing. Oh, if that was really true, we would have let Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. That's why you have the running backs joining the Ravens and the Eagles. You want to diminish Lamar and Jalen because, they only won because of the running back. That's what you guys are doing, Roger Goodell. Your wife was associated with Fox News. A lawyer with Fox News or something with Fox News. I forgot. But yep, it is definitely going to come down to the final game of the regular season. Lamar's going to sweep the Steelers. He's going to send Aaron Rodgers to retirement. That's what he's going to do. He's going to win at Pittsburgh the last week of the season. They are on the road at Pittsburgh that final week of the season. Pittsburgh is 50. San Francisco is 50. They clinched their playoff berth at Pittsburgh. That's what Lamar Jackson's going to do. Roquan Smith is healthy. Your other guy there on the defense is healthy. It's like Ravens didn't have to play them because they know they're already in the playoffs. They already know they're already in by committee. If they were really in danger, these guys would have been forced to play this past game. But you see, they know they're all right. They know the script. They know the Steelers are not going to beat the Ravens. They already know the Steelers have to face those uncommon opponents. They know they're going to lose those games because they are pretenders. That's what the Steelers are. They are pretenders. Lamar's going to dominate the Steelers. He will be 5-5 against the Steelers in the regular season. He'll be 4-5 against the Steelers when he wins the first matchup because Lamar's 45. He'll be 5-5, like 49ers is 55, and that's your Super Bowl host. Lamar Jackson, his 6th win against the 6-time Super Bowl Steelers is going to happen in Week 18 to clinch the playoff berth. This is what Lamar Jackson is going to do. What about Aaron Rodgers' record against the Ravens? Aaron Rodgers. People are sick of that guy anyway. No one wants to see Aaron Rodgers win. They only wanted to see him beat Ben Roethlisberger because, he's a rapist. The rape allegations, Super Bowl 45. During the early part of that season, Big Ben was suspended due to the rape allegations. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers falls to 3-2 against the Ravens, like Lamar's the 32nd pick, and then he'll fall to 3-3 because that's the big Masonic 33. That is the Masonic 33. Steelers may probably win this week. After seeing Joe Burrow in the second half, it won't surprise me to see Cincinnati win, but the whole projection can still call for Pittsburgh to beat the Bengals and still lose against all those teams and the Baltimore Ravens. "91 days after his return as the AFC Championship game, that's all the proof I need to know that Lamar Jackson's heading to Buffalo and he's going to beat Josh Allen, and it's going to send people into a frenzy." Lamar Jackson, the best player in the world. Best player in the world is Camacho 109. I had to redo the video because I got the date mixed up. October 23rd is return, but 7 days from now, obviously, is the 26th day of October. Lamar Jackson is coming back against Chicago Bears. I think I see Queefs in the first round, I think. No one knows what the matchups will be in the divisional and the wild card, only except for Roger Goodell. But the Ravens get a home game the first round. They have to go on the road, obviously, for the divisional. Well, I guess it all depends. The only way the Ravens can have a home game is, let's say, it's number 1 against number 6, and then a number 2 against a number 5. So who knows? Maybe the Ravens have a home game in the divisional round. It's still possible. But if all the favorites win in the wild card week, then basically there will be an underdog winning the first round. You see, 4 or 5, 3, 6, and 2 against 7. Are the Chargers going to win the division this year? (2009), 16 years ago. 16. What is 16? Could their 22nd playoff appearance include a playoff game at SoFi Stadium? At SoFi, that's 22. A 22nd playoff appearance. Atlanta, Georgia, the abbreviations is 23. I do have the Chargers missing the playoffs next year. Something's going to happen to Justin Herbert next year. He's going to sustain an injury. He's going to be out for the year. He's going to be out. Something's going to happen. This is why something is going to happen to him, because you know, 49ers are getting injuries left and right. It has everything to do with the fact that they're hosting the game this year. And, you know, these home teams, they're not allowed to play in home Super Bowls. And guess what? Fred Warner is now out for the season. So it's all part of the script for some of these fake injuries that happen, quite frankly. And I expect a fake injury from Justin Herbert next year. They're going to rehearse the fake injury in practice. They're going to execute the fake injury when the time comes next year. But yeah, the Ravens are your Super Bowl champions for this year. Let's not forget that they are technically the old Browns. The old Cleveland Browns won 8 total championships, and Lamar is number 8. And he's the 32nd pick, like Jim Brown is number 32. And Jim Brown's death is going to connect to Lamar Jackson winning, because Jim Brown, I think his playoff long for yards, I think was a 60-yard rushing game. Jim Brown was the best player back in the day. Lamar Jackson's going to channel his Jim Brown when he wins the scripted championship. It's Brown, that is Lamar Chip, Santa Clara. $91 is a big, big, big number. When are the Queefs going down in the playoffs? I think 7th place was 4-2, and so the NFL they did not want Kansas City to be 2-4. They still very much want these guys in the playoffs. They can still prioritize an LA team winning the division, the Chargers. They'll just have to tell the Chiefs that you're a wild card team this year, but we want to try to establish a fan base for the Chargers now. So I think because of we want a fan base, I think, we can compete with Kansas City. The Chargers are going to win the division this year. Chargers are going to win the division. Yeah, plus with the way how Denver was playing, too, another team in the wild card conversation, another team in the wild card convo, they didn't want the Chiefs losing this game. And the Chiefs are going to totally whip the Raiders next week because they could be 4-4 before they play Josh Allen. Right, 4-3. 4-3. This is the Ravens' 11th championship in their team history. Are you smoking? We have 2 championships. It includes because the Browns are an expansion team. The Ravens are not an expansion team. They're technically the old Browns. That Browns-Steelers rivalry, okay, that was the hot shit back in the day. But that old Browns team is the modern-day Ravens. They just packed their bags and moved to Baltimore, and legally, they were not allowed the right to hold the history of the Cleveland Clowns. The new expansion team is the Cleveland Clowns. They claim the history of the Ravens, but that's actually the Ravens franchise. They won the championships in the 1950s. They won the championship in 1964. The Ravens won those championships. The Cleveland Clowns franchise only existed since 1999. They are the fake Browns. Real Browns are in Baltimore. Understand, that is why that's the case, because the players that were on the Browns, they moved over to Baltimore. That franchise moved to Baltimore. And so those championships, those seasons may legally be property of the Cleveland Clown franchise, but it still very much is part of the history of the Ravens. The winning history of the Ravens, the curse of playing in Cleveland and being allowed to win Super Bowls moving to Baltimore. 3 for 3 in the Super Bowl. Imagine 3 Super Bowls since moving out of Cleveland. Another reason why this result happened today, that they kept that NFC North close. I don't think they'll have the Chargers lose 2 consecutive home games. I think that'd be bad. There are some numbers for Indianapolis. I mean, Chiefs are just an automatic win next week. There are some numbers that are interesting for the Giants. Like, I'll go into it. I was going to wait until the end of this game just to see how the numbers are going to sync up for Kansas City for next week. But I think I am planning on doing my video for week 7 tonight after the end of this game. I mean, 5-2 is Indy, 4-3. Chargers does equal 43. Another game that just seems so iffy, that could go either way, is the Jaguars and the LA Rams. The 41ers are probably not going to win the division now because they got another injury. Now, where's the guy who says, I keep doubting my 49ers, I want to win the Super Bowl? I feel sorry for people who still believe a home team is going to make it to a Super Bowl outside of a pandemic year. I'm just, come on. But if the Eagles are beating Carson Wentz like 5-2, like Super Bowl 52. Commanders are beating the Cowboys. I think the Panthers can beat the Jets. They not winning their first game. I see the Cleveland Clown dumpster fire continuing. Oh, Shadori's got to start this week. That's why Miami have to beat him next week. Because it's time to start Shador Sanders. That's probably why Miami's going to win next week. I was doing these numbers during the Bucks 49ers game because, quite frankly, 49ers were terrible. And I don't give me this injury excuse. Tampa Bay was without Goodwin. They were without another wide receiver. They were without Mike Evans. Excuses. I think next week is a bounce back week for the Lions. Lions does equal 24. They got to set up the onside kick, do they? Score a garbage time touchdown, onside kick. It's really just about the over-under, I think. Was it at 51 points? So, yeah, the only reason why we'd be watching, I think, is the game is technically not over. And the over-under is on the line. So is it the over or the under that's going to win? Could it be 54 points like that crazy Rams-Chiefs game in the year of Super Bowl 54? I'm not going to lie. The Eagles look like disjointed. Balance of run and pass, upset wide receivers. So even though Eagles-Ravens is a great matchup and the storylines are very juicy, everyone was saying the Eagles were a cause for concern because they finished 1-5 to end the year. The previous season, before they won the Super Bowl, the year before that, you see, they finished 1-5, and people thought Sirianni was losing the team. And then the very next year, they get Saquon, and I think they started 2-2, and they still won the Super Bowl. So, but yeah, the draft pick that was used on Lamar, they got from the Eagles. Obviously, there's a 14 weeks from Jordan Love's birthday to the Super Bowl. The Ravens, as the old Browns, they've got the NFL championship history against the Detroit Lions. So you can make a case for either three of those teams. Baker's play like MVP, but I think he wins MVP. He loses in the playoffs, but he wins in the playoffs to make it to the Super Bowl next season. Bills against Bucks next year is the script. Bills against Bucks. Josh Allen beats Mayfield in the Super Bowl. Ravens lost against the Lions, so this would be an intriguing rematch in the Super Bowl. And Goff's got the Bay Area connection, and Stan Campbell going to play in one Super Bowl. Or same old Lion losers. Which one is it going to be? Sometimes there's no definite answer until you just see the playoff bracket and see what the good matchups are. And then there you'll find out, what matchups exactly the NFL wants in January. Because they're asleep, they're sheep. It's a psychological phenomenon where something goes against your perception of reality. It's too hard to fathom, to grasp your mind around. So you just deny it entirely. That's the psychology behind people denying the NFL is rigged, because it goes completely against their perception of reality. That they've been lied to, that this whole time it was a fugazi, that I can't wrap my head around it. The truth hurts and it's too good to be true. I'd rather live in denial. Therefore, you've chosen blissful ignorance if one continues to deny that the NFL is rigged. And they have willingly chosen blissful ignorance. It's okay to know it's rigged, and you still watch because technically these are the best players in the world. You know, they're plays that you know are rigged, like that Baker Mayfield scramble today. I was like, how did the two 49er guys like not wrap him up? They just let him go. The one guy doesn't trail Baker to the sideline. He just lets him go past him. And then, you know, these 250-pound linebackers, Baker can carry these guys a couple yards to a first down. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. They just let him, you know, bounce him for a couple more yards, didn't they? If you don't know what play I'm talking about, it is this one right here. This play right here. I did a short on it, and I guess it's got like 1,000 views. Yeah, I got a couple. Oh, you're a fucking retard comment. But you know, again, they're a zombie. They are not living in objective reality. This is the play right here I'm referencing. He has a defender right there. You just, you know, let Baker run to the outside, trail him to the sideline if you're good at coaching football. But that's not what he really does. He kind of takes a fake dive forward, gives Baker the cushion. Yep. And then, you know, he bounces over a couple guys. You know, the script was to get him the first down right there. So the script accomplished. San Francisco. Baker's a dog. He put it on the line. His dude's blowing out. Stop the cop. That's why I bet on the Bucks, because Baker is the MVP this year. Oh my God. You people, you people, you people. Oh, look at this Kyler Murray stand. Kyler Murray never lost a game in high school. He won 3 straight championships. They don't give a fuck about high school no more. You really say, oh, he's undefeated in high school. We don't give a damn about no Kyler Murray now. He sucks. He got outplayed by Jacoby Brissett. We know nothing about football, do we? Now, we know everything. This midget can't play. He don't study film. He has a bad attitude, and he nothing. Get rid of Kyler Murray. Trade him to the Steelers. Trade him to some sucker-ass team out there. Who else is in the running? Hey, the under one. It's the under one. I bet everybody had the over. They were telling you about that 54-51 game and that they were going to put on another show again. Oops, not so fast. Who can bait the public there with that over-under? They hooked and bait him. You're watching a 13-point game because, oh, that over-under. I see what y'all been doing right there. Games always hover around the point spread or the over-under. Imagine what Lamar's going to do. This is very important because now the NFL is like the NBA. You know, they're playing in Madrid now. Even they're playing in Ireland. They played a game in Mexico, I think, 3 years ago. So this is an international game. Right? Mahomes is the most popular player internationally. So there's no chance that the Chiefs miss the playoffs, quite frankly, because NFL cares about international viewership. Top selling jerseys internationally. So, top selling NFL jerseys internationally. Internationally. Saquon Barkley is the top selling jersey internationally. Okay, I want to go to the most uh, up to date article. I just see June of 2025. Okay. I don't care about jersey sales overall. I care about international jersey sales. The international. International. I mean, look, the general point is that, Tom Brady had the highest selling jersey in Europe. This was as far back as October 2015. And then, Tom Brady won, they beat the Seahawks. So they still appeared he still won 3 more Super Bowls. This was 2015. It's Patrick Mahomes, probably the top selling jersey. Let me just type in UK because most fans in the world, they're the United Kingdom. It's kind of like rugby, and this is not rugby. This is kind of similar. Kelsey's a top jersey in the UK. January 2025. Jordan Love is number 2. Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson round up the top 5. Patrick Mahomes is not even top 10. Well, this is because of Kelsey. This is because of Swift. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are top 5 and top selling jerseys in the UK. Joe Burrow's ahead of Mahomes for top selling jerseys in the UK. This is surprising. I really would expect Mahomes to be top 5 at least. Lamar is in the top 5 and top just selling jerseys in the UK. Same thing with Josh Allen, So NFL needs Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. I just told you why they need Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. They put their most popular players internationally in the playoffs as far as they can in the playoffs. This is where Josh Allen, this is where Lamar Jackson comes into the equation. Let's see. The Harbaugh coached the Eagles. So did McDermott. Eagles look disjointed. It's like, are they really going to make it? I could easily see Saquon against this dude. The right answer is, there's no sense making an exacta bet until you see what the seeds are, what the matchups are going to be, who's playing in the next round, and lastly, who the NFL will want to play in the Super Bowl. This kid, Jordan Love, is from California, Bakersfield, California. Judd York is from Youngstown, Ohio. The Ravens came from Ohio, so they've got that Ohio connection with the principal owner of San Francisco. He is 45 years of age, like Buffalo Bills and Lamar Jackson. Jed York is from Youngstown, Ohio. The Ravens originated in Cleveland. They've got that. He's got the Cleveland connection. He's got that Raven connection. That's why he faced the Ravens in Super 47 to begin with, because it was that connection to the old Browns. The DiBartolos, Italians owned the 49ers. Bisciotti's Italian. He's the Ravens owner. They've got the connection to Italy. They've got that connection there. He came from the DiBartolo family. Lamar had that big game on Christmas against the 49ers. Remember your 49ers Ravens psyop completely exposed a couple of years ago? Oh, his fumbles were completely part of the script. Come on now. He's a good actor because he knows how to look sulky and unhappy on the sideline. Gotta be an actor. Gotta be an actor. You gotta put on your actor face out there. Don't want to go along with it, you understand. But they pay you a lot of money to go along with the script. And you supposed to look unhappy when you make a scripted mistake. Derrick Henry's a great actor. His head was down. He was beating himself for them fumbles. That's a great actor. He just didn't look like I fumbled, a big deal. I don't care. No, he is a great actor. He gets Oscar. He's Oscar material. Russell Wilson, he's a terrible actor. He's walked the sideline like he didn't make the biggest interception in Super Bowl history. He just walked nonchalantly like, I don't care. Well, yeah, terrible. Mark Andrews' redemption. The drops. Mark Andrews is Gamache of Levi's Stadium. Yep. He is definitely going to make some key plays. No doubt about it. How easy is the Ravens run? Steelers have the toughest schedule remaining in the NFL. Steelers are a big, complete, bona fide fraud organization. The Ravens will still win the division, even with the Steelers win over the Bengals, because that game is literally insignificant to the overall grand equation, because those are not the four teams the Ravens don't have to play. They can still lose to the Packers, to the Steelers. And Joe Flacco's 34. Bengals can go 3-4. Joe is 51. Steelers can go 5-1. Yeah, last week the upset, Hurts. Jalen is 42. They fell to 4-2. And what was the Giants' script that game? 2-4, and Saquon Barkley's 24. That's what happened last week. Joe Flacco gets a win at home. That's a good script. Could it happen realistically? Yes, it could happen realistically. You only played the Cleveland Clowns. Joe Flacco, he got a couple of scores. He's kind of getting used to the offense. This is just a Joe Flacco style. He gets in there to Cincinnati. He's barely learning them offenses. Wife is quizzing him on the playbook and the hotel. And he got to get ready for a game in 4 days. And Joe Flacco does it again. Joe Flacco. Maximizing fan interest. The Bengals are technically in the playoff conversation. That's just another team in the playoff picture. That's another team that we want to maximize your fan interest. Maximize the fan interest for all of the fan bases. Jacksonville is having a good season. Carolina is 4-3. Atlanta Falcons I don't know. New England Patriots, they good this year. Let's check the standings. We knew I made a late change in pick for the Lions game. I had that feeling where the numbers would appear to line up so good with Detroit, but that was kind of a gematria trap because really too much money was on the Lions, and again they seventh place is 4-2. They don't want the Chiefs to be 2-4. So yep, the game was rigged. It appears Jacksonville might crash and burn. Who knows if Pittsburgh crashes and burns? Maybe they have Patriots against Bills in the first round. Who knows? Because technically, you've got your 5-1s, your 4-2s. I think Chargers keep on winning. They got to pursue the number one. The Colts, they not a number one seed. They not going to be the number one seed. I think the Chargers going to have a good running at that number one seed. Who knows? I just get the feeling that the Colts are in the playoffs. I don't know who out there will think they're the best team in the AFC. Now that there's a good sample size, I should start doing conference records right now. Like you see, Indianapolis are 4-0 in the conference. They could be 4-1 like Los Angeles. I think it's going to come down to conference records. I think with these interconference matchups through the rest of the season. Seahawks going to beat Houston. Yep. Washington could be 4-2. Carolina has to beat the Jets. The Panthers have to stay alive for the wild card. Things get interesting if the Rams lose. Just depends. Things get interesting for either conference, whichever team loses, or do they want the Jaguars to stay alive for the division? But even if the Colts lose and the Jaguars lose, they're only within a game, and then they can still play each other. So this will mean that Rams or Jaguars. The Lambs are 0-2 against the conference. They a joke. They haven't won a game against the conference. They frauds. They haven't won a game against the conference. This team is missing the playoffs. Whoever gets the injured 41 is in the playoffs. That is a bye week. That's an easy win. They haven't won a game against the NFC. This team is fraudulent. You got to win a game against your conference. 0-2 against the conference. Vikings, yeah, you're out of the playoffs next week, Minnesota. Cardinals out of the playoffs. Now Minnesota, they can be out of the playoffs. Carolina Panthers, they are going to be in the playoff hunt. They'll be 4-3. They will be able to say that we are in the playoff hunt. The Dallas Cowboys, you are not in the playoff hunt. You are going down against Jaden Daniels this week. Cowboys Cards is dumpster fire. Will that be a shaming game for Jerry Jones to lose against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football? I hope this means they are the Al Davis Raiders of the early mid-2000s. Raiders win. Both poverty teams are 2-4. Both teams are poverty. I was not able to boss Raider Nation, but we beat the Titans, and I'd be looking forward to the highlights. And I know it doesn't matter because I know they're losing against Kansas City, but God damn it. Both those teams are poverty. The NFL hates them both. They hate them both. We won 17-0. Hell yeah. Finally, they win a game 17-0. I mean, the game was over. Cardinals are garbage. Gino is trash. You're all awful. Oh, my God. Max Crosby, this guy, this motivator, man, he really whipped everyone's ass during that play immediately. He was like, what the hell you doing? Get your head in the game. Mad Max. Did he get a sack? I have to watch the highlight. I have to watch the highlights of every game.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps.
It's a movie.
Swaggering.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. It's a movie.
Is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Raider Nation, let's go. Raider Nation, let's go. Raider Nation, are you ready for some football? You ain't ready for the football. You ain't ready for the Oakland Raiders. It's the invasion of the Oakland Raiders. Are you ready for some football? You ain't ready for the football. Here we come, baby. Just win, baby. Feel the storm of the cold autumn wind, baby. It's the Oakland Raiders. Get your mouthpiece. You in the black hole with the black beast. This ain't black gold, this is black silver. Commitment to excellence, we deliver. And we'll play past regulation. It's the invasion of the Raider Nation. Let's go. Raider Nation. Let's go. Raider Nation. Are you ready for some football? Yeah. You ain't ready for the football. You ain't ready for the Oakland Raiders. Come on. It's the invasion of the Oakland Raiders. Let's go. Are you ready for some football? Yeah. You ain't ready for this football. The Raider Nation is united. When they see them Pirates, fans get excited. The opposition get quiet when I hit the field with my eye patch and my shield. The silver and black will attack. Are you ready for some football? The silver and black will attack. Are you ready for some football? Raider Nation, let's go. Raider Nation, let's go. Raider Nation, let's go. Raider Nation, let's go. Raider Nation, we are Raider Nation. We are Raider Nation. We are Raider Nation. We are Raider Nation. Just win, baby. 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 Just win, baby.
Okay, Brian, craziest touchdown ever.
Tennessee Titan.
Oh, we ain't got no chance against Kansas City Queens next week, unfortunately. Who do the Queens have after that? Washington or the Bills? Chiefs will be 5-4. I bet they'll lose one of these next three games. They'll be 5-4, so they either lose against Commanders or they lose against the Bills. If they win all three games, they will lose at Denver. They will beat the Raiders. If they lose against Commanders, they'll be 5-4 to beat the Bills. If they are 5-3, 5-4 is Bills, 6-3 is Buffalo. So that would be the most interesting scenario. Commanders are also in a chase with the Eagles for the division. They all both have 2 losses. We know they've beaten the Dallas Cowboys. They may very well shock the world and win at Kansas City. We will get there. We will find out. In 2 weeks, the Eagles play the Packers. Yep, the division will kind of stay unchanged there. Eagles, Packers, Commanders, Chiefs, NFC East implications. Eagles have to play the Lions the following week, November 16th. They got the Vikings and the Giants coming up. They probably get a couple wins. Eagles finish against the Commanders and the Bills and the Commanders. Imagine if the Commanders win the division. Eagles still have to play the Chargers. The Commanders could win the division. It would not surprise me to see Commanders win the division. They've got a real chance at that division. The logistics favors Washington. They've got a real opportunity. Let's see, they've got that game against Buffalo. Oh, Commanders play the Cowboys on Christmas. Yep, they're going to destroy the Cowboys on Christmas, I hope. I think I'm going to leave it there. But it is all a movie. The NFC East division, AFC West division is going to come down to the wire. Home field, the NFC North. The dramatic comeback for the Baltimore Ravens the last week of the season. It's all movie. I'm sure they've got all the logistics figured out for the last month of the season. Hey, here we go. Here we go. Lamar Jackson's going to channel his inner Patrick Mahomes. 1-5 start. Lamar Jackson returns. Unleash your inner number 15. Lamar Jackson, you know what to do.